Welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. That's right, it's Thursday. We're almost there. It's time for the weekend. Let's sit back, chill, and have some fun today. Welcome, Gina. All right, we're going to get going in a second. This is the Jon DiVito Show. It is Thursday, June 3rd. Can't believe we're into June. Summer's around the corner. The weekend here in New England is going to be warm and sunny, and we're going to be getting going all day today. I'm ready to go today. I'm ready to party. I don't know. I'm ready to talk about some of the recreational things we're going to do this summer. Getting excited for a Guns N' Roses concert I'm going to in July. So we're going to get at it in about a minute. So welcome to the show. Eric, good to see you, and we'll get going shortly. If you're new to my show, please follow me and share my live. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. It is Thursday, June 3rd. And that actually reminds me, one of my good friends, it's his birthday tomorrow. So I'm glad I saw the date today. I've been friends with this guy literally since preschool. He lives out in Colorado now, and he is the morning drive sportscaster for K-Fan in Denver. So if you happen to live in Colorado, you probably know the name Mike Evans. You can let him know tomorrow. If you're a fan in Denver, call into his show and wish him a happy birthday tomorrow. So he's a good friend of mine. I know him forever. Hey, Flying Ham, welcome to the show. So, hey, we get a beautiful weekend coming up here in Boston. I am super excited. It's going to be up in the 90s both days. We're going to get past kind of a little bit of a chilly day today. It's about 70 today. We might get some rain today, but I'm super stoked for the weekend, and I'm hoping, if not this weekend, maybe early next week, I could work out my first beach day of the year. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I talk a lot sometimes about politics and about different things, but I am a huge beach guy. I love going to the beach. And, one of the things we're really fortunate about here in New England, Mr. T, welcome to the show, is we have a lot of beautiful beaches here in New England. Now, we have some great beaches in New Hampshire. Obviously, people know about Cape Cod and Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard off the coast of Massachusetts, but also the state of Maine has some beautiful beaches, and it's still killing me. We had an opportunity, my wife and I, when we were first dating. Now, she went to school up in Maine, and she went to the University of New England to get her medical school degree, and she lived on a beach called Goose Rock Beach in Kennebunkport, Maine, which is probably, hour and 20 minutes from Boston. Oh, the lobster's amazing. Flying Ham in Maine, no doubt about it. I actually had a lobster roll yesterday. I'll have to talk about that today. I love lobster rolls. But we had an opportunity years ago to buy this house on Goose Rock Beach in Kennebunkport, Maine. It was like a house that my wife was staying at for college. It was a small house. There was a swimming pool in between this house and a little smaller guest house on the property, and it was super affordable. My wife and I did not buy it. We didn't have the money at the time, and someone came in and bought that, and now they've got their little family compound up there on Goose Rock Beach in Maine. But I was looking at a list of top beaches across the world, or actually across the U.S. earlier today. And of course, you have a ton of beaches in California, a ton of beaches in Florida that made the list. But I actually saw that Goose Rock Beach in Kennebunkport made it as, I think, number 24 in the top 27 beaches in the country, which was pretty amazing. So beautiful beach. And one of the coolest things about that beach, I remember she was my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, we would walk along that beach, and you would find little sand dollars, like everywhere. And I don't know if you're familiar with what sand dollars are, but they're little small circular creatures that crawl up under the sand. And when they do, unfortunately, it's not good for them. They ended up, drying out and passing away. And you can probably hear in the background, one of my chickens is crowing in the background. So if you hear that noise, that's not a sound effect. Those are actually our chickens in the background making all kinds of noise in the yard behind me. So that's the benefit of living out in the woods. So Freedom Warrior, welcome to the show. Steve O, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about a variety of different things today. I'll probably open up the phone lines relatively early today to get people calling in. But yeah, things here are good. The weather's turning nice in Boston. Now, I had mentioned earlier that I ate a lobster roll yesterday. Now, how many people in here have eaten lobster rolls? Have you guys ever had any lobster rolls by any chance? Who eats those? I mean, lobster rolls are amazing. Now, I assume you all know what they are, but if you don't, it's basically they take the best parts of a lobster. Like, one of the hassles of eating lobster is you kind of have to know where to crack it open and, getting stuff all over you when you do it. So with a lobster roll, they take the best parts of a lobster, and sometimes they put butter on it. They put maybe a little bit of mayonnaise on it, and they literally stuff it into a hot dog roll. And they're expensive. I mean, they're like, probably like $18-20 for one lobster roll. But I actually ended up going up to this restaurant in Salisbury, Massachusetts yesterday, right near the beach. And I go with my dad. My dad is 80 years old. He has dementia. The first Wednesday of every month, he has a luncheon with his old high school friends, his old buddies that he's known literally for like 60 years. So one of the benefits for me is I go to these lunches, and at 53 years old, I'm the youngest guy in the room. So that doesn't happen too much anymore when you get to be my age. So I like being the young guy when I go to these lunches. But I ended up going into the lunch, and I got my lobster roll. My father got a lobster roll also. Lobster rolls are so good. They literally melt in your mouth. If you haven't had one, I know they're a big thing up here in the Northeast, and I'm sure they must have them in other places, other beach communities and things like that. But there's nothing like going up to like Maine and getting like a lobster roll on the beach in Maine. I mean, it is so, so, so good. So if you've never had one, I highly recommend a lobster roll. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just see Crazy Kane came in? I have to give him the proper introduction. Hold on one sec. Let me scroll on my soundboard. All right, Crazy Kane, this is for you. Here we go. Oh. I literally don't know how you didn't pass out when you were doing this. Listen to him go, man. Oh, that was it. Okay, there's the end of it. So that's Crazy Kane. Now that I've got that on my soundboard, I'm going to play that every time Crazy Kane comes into the room. That's going to be his welcome from now on. He's one of my good friends. And of course, I get all kinds of sounds on here. Like my daughter, Kaitlyn, used to do the podcast with me. She doesn't do it as much anymore, but she did record these for me.
Ew.
That's the long version of ew. And then we've got the short version.
Ew.
I kind of like the short version.
Ew.
I don't know. The long version is good too. So anyway, all right. As you can tell, I have ADD, so I get distracted very easily. So I apologize if I jump from subject to subject. But looking at a lot of different things right now. I get a couple news stories I wanted to talk about really quickly. Did you guys see? This was amazing. Did you see the video yesterday of that teenage girl that ran out of her house and basically fought a bear on her back porch? It was a mama bear with her little cubs, and the mama bear came into the yard, and she was like walking up on this ledge. It looked like in front of the back deck, and the girl's dogs came out and started barking at the bear, and the bear started taking swipes at the dogs, and one of the little dogs came out, and the bear literally grabbed the little dog. It was I didn't know if it was in California where it was, but the bear literally grabbed the dog, and this teenage girl comes flying out of her house full speed and attacked the bear. She's taking swats at it. She's pushing this thing. I mean, oh my God, can you spell badass with a capital B? That was amazing. I got to tell you, I had, I don't even know, like 10 years ago, I had a giant bear that came into our yard. It was kind of a funny story where I live in the woods. Our house is literally, we're in a neighborhood, but we're set back in the woods. We've got trees all around our house. when my daughter was little, she used to call it the house in the trees was the name for our house. She used to call it when she was a little girl. And that was always cute. But I was in my office. I have an office in the back of the house because I've always worked remotely out of my house for my job. So I had yelled at my son. We have a black lab dog, and we had one back then also. And I yelled at my son, don't let the dog out. You got to keep him in the house. He'll run away and the dog officer will get him or whatever. So I'm in my office on my computer, and all of a sudden I see the rear end of this animal walk by me. It was like a black rear end of an animal. So I yelled at my son, I'm like, Matt, you can't let the dog out. The dog's going to get picked up by the dog officer again. Matt yells, Dad, the dog's right here with me. I'm like, ew. So I look over, glance over to my left, and I realize that the rear end of this animal was gigantic. So I was like, holy crap, that's a bear right outside my window. So the bear walked into our driveway, and I end up getting up, obviously. And at the time, this was a while ago, so I had a crappy phone with a crappy camera on it. I did get a picture of it, but it came out terrible. But I walk out my front door, and there's like a little small porch in our front door, and there's the driveway, and there's woods on the front of our house. So I'm probably, 15 feet away from this giant male black bear that is in my driveway. And I remember going, holy crap, this thing is huge. So I'm standing there looking at it. But the bear, it saw me. It didn't care. I was literally like a step from jumping back in my house. So if that bear made a move at me, I had plenty of time to get inside. But I took a picture of it, and I'm looking at the bear. It's looking at me. It's just like licking itself like a dog would. It's just like cleaning itself, hanging out, sitting on my driveway. It looked up at me, didn't care. I didn't bother him at all. And he decided just to stand up, and he kind of disappeared into the woods right in front of me, very slowly walking away. And it was amazing. It was an incredible experience to see a bear that close up. But like that girl in California, I never had the inclination to run down the stairs full speed and attack the bear. I wanted nothing to do with that bear. So I give that girl credit, man. She was a badass. She saved her dogs, went after the bear, and basically drove the bear away. And again, if you know anything about bears, a mama bear is the most dangerous bear you can come into because she's protecting her cubs, and she'll protect her cubs with everything she has. So I give that girl credit, man. I saw that video. I've probably watched it like 10 times. And every time I'm like, you go, girl. Unbelievable. Super, super brave and just super amazing. So just kind of a cool story. All right. Hey, welcome to everybody coming to the show. I greatly appreciate it. Mike, Doc Bear, everybody coming in. PBG, I see that you're here. So welcome to everyone coming into the live. Now, if this is your first time here, I greatly appreciate a follow. And if you could share my live out to everybody, I would really appreciate that also. So thank you very much in advance for anyone that chooses to share my live. I would appreciate it. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I get into a couple more stories and then we open up the phone lines. I'm kind of jacked up to do a show today. I'm feeling it today. So I think I might go for a while and just kind of have some fun today. We're going to probably stay away from politics and other serious topics today. I want to have kind of a fun show, but I want to share with you a very inspirational story. Okay. And, this comes from my own family. For those of you that have been in my show before, about my family. I'm married. I've got 4 children. My oldest is 18. My daughter is 16. My other 2 boys are 14 and 12. So I got 3 boys and a girl. We basically have 4 teenagers in the house right now. And, there are days when you get a lot of moodiness and a lot of attitude going on, but there are a lot of good days as well. And Jay, baby, welcome to the show. Everybody, thank you for coming in. So I'm sharing a story about my son, Matt. And this, I know I've talked about my son, Matt, before, but I want to give you kind of like a roundabout story, some background, and then tell you about what's happening with him next week, because it's pretty amazing. So my son, Matt, is 18 years old. When he was 3 years old, he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum. He has Tourette's, he has autism, he has OCD, and he has ADHD. So he's had a lot of challenges throughout the course of his life. It's been very hard for him. He struggled with friends. He didn't do well in school. He struggled in sports. Really, every aspect of his life has been a grind. It's been a struggle. He's had to grit things out. But he has always had this spark about him that has been just amazing, where he has, for whatever reason, he's always found the way to be positive. He's always found the way to smile. He's one of the hardest working young men that I know. Now, if you're a parent out there, or if you're one of the people that comes in that has autism, I know that I have some friends that come into my show that are on the autism spectrum. Never stop believing in yourself. Now, my son, like I said, struggled a lot. School was hard for him. Friends were hard for him. I'll never forget the day when he was little. And I have a hard time telling the story without crying. But he was little, and we went to a beach one day, and he was trying to play with the other kids at the beach. He was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. And all the kids just weren't interested because he was different. He didn't really talk about the same things they talked about, and they just weren't interested. So I remember he got into my car, and he was sitting way in the back. It was just him and I saw the struggle. I mean, I saw it as a parent. I didn't say anything about it, but I saw it, and I knew what was going on. So I look in the back of the car, and he's sitting back there, and his eyes are all watery. And he finally looks up at me and goes, "Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "What's wrong with me?" I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Why am I broken as a kid?" And when you hear your oldest child, your child say something like that to you, it literally broke my heart. I mean, how do you respond to that? It broke my heart. It was awful to hear. I cried over that. And it was a very difficult thing to listen to. Hey, Father Brian, good to see you, brother. So anyway, my son looks at me and says, "Why am I broken as a child?" And you have to try to explain to him in a way he can understand that, you do have autism, and, things are going to be a little bit difficult for you, but you're going to be okay. The one thing we've always taught him since he was little is always follow your dreams, and don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything, and never use your autism as an excuse not to try something and not to succeed. We have always tried to raise him like our other children. We have told him that we know things are harder for him. We know that you have autism, but we have the same expectations from you as we have for our other children, and we feel that you can achieve whatever dreams that you want. So now, I don't want to make this a 20-minute story, but when my son was little, he tried baseball, he tried soccer, he tried basketball, he played flag football, and he always tried, but nothing came easy to him. School didn't come easy to him. A lot of times he didn't get invited to birthday parties or play dates when he was young. And then it's funny how one thing changes your life. He saw the movie Rocky, decided he wanted to be a boxer. So he joined a gym of inner city guys, real boxers. I mean, one of the guys that trains at his gym was on the Mike Tyson undercard when he fought Roy Jones Jr. a couple of months ago. And my son Matt's trainer was in the corner and met Mike Tyson that day. So my son was training at a real gym, and he trained there for 8 years with these group of guys that took him under his wing. And when I hear things about, I've had people at times call me, "Well, you're a Trump supporter, you must be a racist." Let me tell you about that. This is a group of men who predominantly were African-American and Hispanic, who welcomed my son into an inner city boxing gym, a kid with autism. They took him under their wing and treated him like a friend, like a son. And this guy, who had plenty of good boxers to train, took my son under his wing and trained him for 8 years and actually made him a decent little boxer. When my son finally, fast forwarding ahead, got a lead in a play a couple years ago, his trainer came to the play and was there in an all-white crowd in an all-white town. This guy came to this play and was there in the front row for my son, hugged him after the play and everything. My son struggled all through his youth, went to boxing, developed self-esteem with the help of these gentlemen, all men of color, women of color, that helped him become the person that he is today. Because of the confidence he gained in that boxing gym, he started wrestling competitively. He wrestled for 3 years and actually even won a wrestling match at a state championship one year in Massachusetts. Now, he couldn't wrestle in high school because the high school that we go to here doesn't have a high school program, or he would have continued on. Hey, Ralph, how you doing? Hey, Rich, welcome to the show. So anyway, my son stopped wrestling, and then he discovered acting. So he decided he wanted to be an actor. So my son now, the guy with Tourette's syndrome, the guy with autism, the guy with ADHD, OCD, has now been in 10 plays. He got his lead in Elf the Musical. He was Buddy the Elf. Couldn't have picked a better guy for that part. He's got a great singing voice. And this past spring, Matt got into his first movie that's going to be coming out on Netflix this summer called Don't Look Up, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and a host of people. Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, Christopher Evans. I mean, a bunch of people are in it. I mean, it's a small little thing he got, but he's still in it. He had to have a call with the casting director to get chosen for it. So here's a guy that was given no chance to succeed in life. And this guy has given everything he's had to get where he is today. And he's been an inspiration for so many people. So my oldest son, who's been up against it his whole life, is graduating from high school next week. So here's a guy that was given no chance of success in life by a lot of the experts. And what has he done? He's played sports. He wrestled competitively. He joined a boxing gym where he trained for 8 years. He's been in 10 plays. He's been in a movie. He's now, on top of that, had a job now for the last year where he's working in a grocery store and has become one of the customers' favorites in this store. This kid has been an inspiration for anyone that he's crossed paths with. So his plan now going forward is he's going to be starting community college in the fall. And it's funny, every time I sit back and think, this kid, well, he wants to be a movie star. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen. Whenever I get those negative thoughts in my head, I start thinking about, well, why not him? Why not him? Everything he's been told that he can't do so far, he's been able to do. So we're so excited and so proud for my son, Matt, who's graduating college. And if you're someone out there that has challenges, thanks, Ralph. I appreciate that. If there's anybody out there that has challenges, that knows somebody that has challenges, if you have autism, if you have any type of developmental issue, believe that you can do things. Go out and go after it. Live your dreams. Go after the things that you want in life, because honestly, anything is possible. And the only thing that limits you in life is yourself. If you don't believe you can accomplish something, you'll never believe it. But if you believe and you go after it, you can do it. And my son so far has been a perfect example of that. So just wanted to kind of get that out. I've been thinking a lot about my son. I can't believe he's graduating from high school next year. If you're a parent of young children, man, it goes by quick. In a blink of an eye, your kids are in diapers, and next thing you know, they're going out the door to college, and it happens very quickly. Now, I do have a special guest sitting right in front of me. My daughter, Kaitlyn, is holding a chicken. Now, which chicken is this, Kaitlyn? This is Nugget, so you're far away from the microphone. Kaitlyn, remember, was one of my original co-hosts way back in the day, and she's kind of gone a different direction, but she's actually coming to sit down next to me. So, Kaitlyn, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Get a little bit closer to the mic so
Okay,
they can hear you.
chicken.
I know she's got a chicken in her arms right now. So this is what a professional podcast is all about. We're sitting in our farmer's porch out in the middle of nowhere. Me with my shorts on, no shoes, and my daughter sitting next to me in this little wicker chair holding a chicken in her hand. So that's what the Jon DiVito Show is all about.
Of course.
Right? So, Kaitlyn, how have you been? Why don't you give everyone a little bit of update about how you're doing?
I've been doing pretty good. We're getting towards the end of sophomore year of high school, which is kind of crazy. It's been all going pretty fast with everything going on. I'm really getting close to the end. I was just finishing an essay for history. So, yeah, everything's been going pretty good. The chickens have gotten so big.
Oh, we have so many eggs right
They're
now.
huge.
You guys have no idea. What we're doing right now is we have so many eggs. We literally boil a big pot of eggs almost like
Yes.
daily, and then we put them in a bowl in the kitchen,
But
and we're eating hard-boiled eggs.
So everybody has like a fruit basket in our house, and we have a hard-boiled egg basket. We all love hard-boiled eggs, though.
I love them. I love them.
We've all found out that we all have an immense love for hard-boiled eggs.
Some people have apples. Some people have bananas. In the DeVito house, we have hard-boiled eggs.
Because why not? I mean, they're so good. Nugget's sitting right here. She's kind of feisty.
Now, Kaitlyn, I see Mike from Tampa Bay. He's a good friend of the show.
Yeah, I can't see.
Cool guy. Yeah, you can't hear. Kaitlyn can't hear either. She doesn't have headphones on. But he said, Jon, you're a great father. Now, of course, I agree with him. I agree. And I think he's a very smart man for saying that.
Of course.
Now, maybe you could share some input on that.
I mean, he did steal my diet root beer this morning.
No, I didn't.
He did. He stole it. It was in the fridge. It was mine. He knew it. And he stole it anyway. And he's actually drinking it right now as we speak. And he has no remorse. No remorse for the fact.
Liar.
That's not a lie. That is the truth.
No, I meant I'm a liar. You're right. I did steal
You are a liar. I know you did. I know it's not actually in the car.
Now, Mr. A, I see your comment about our house smelling amazing. It does not, but it has nothing to do with the chickens because we're outside right now.
It's really just us.
I have 3 teenage boys. They literally stink like every moment of the day. They just smell. Their rooms smell like there are literally dead animals in the closet. I don't know what they do in there, but yes, our house, it literally smells. I agree. Don't you agree?
Well, it doesn't like reek because mom has like a candle obsession. So there's always a candle burning. So I feel like the candles kind of even it out where it's like kind of like a neutral zone.
Now, see, the gray area says, I owe you a mini fridge for your room full of root beer.
Yes.
That's not a bad idea.
Yes, you do.
Of course, though, you're going to need a lock because you know I'm going to steal it all the time.
Yeah, you're going to be like walking in like, hi, Kaitlyn, opens fridge, takes root beer, runs.
Oh,
Although,
man.
you're not very fast, so I'd probably be able to catch you.
Hey, I used to be fast. Now I'm just old and fat, so I'm not fast anymore. Oh, man. Now, Kaitlyn, I was talking a little while ago about the the luncheons I go to with
The
Grampy.
luncheons. Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
I had a lobster roll yesterday at the
Yes,
Winner's Circle in
yes.
Salisbury,
The
Mass.
Winner's Circle.
Now, what did you think of going to the luncheon with all the old guys? I mean, Grampy's 80, and he's one of the younger guys
I
there.
know it.
I'm 53. I'm like a baby there.
So I was the real baby.
Yes, you
when
were.
I went to the Winner's Circle. It was like last year, wasn't it? So I was 15.
Yep.
And it was a very interesting experience. I am not the type of person that just kind of jumps into conversation, as
Right.
you all probably know. Maybe you don't. But I'm
Well, you on the microphone though, you come across as being very outgoing.
yeah.
In actuality, in real life, Kaitlyn is kind of an introvert.
I am. So I went and I just kind of observed. I kind of just took in all of my surroundings. So they hand out like the newspaper clippings. They're all talking about their high school years and how they were amazing athletes. And,
Back in 1931.
and so, I don't mind listening to all the stories. I actually like it because a lot of them are actually pretty wise when it comes to like advice for younger years. So I kind of just listen to what all the older people have to say, which I actually find it very interesting.
Yeah. I made a cardinal mistake yesterday.
Oh, did you?
You know what happened?
Oh,
All right.
no.
Now, this is advice. Now, if you go to a luncheon with a bunch of really old guys, like, 70s, 80s, really old, one of the guys shows up. Now, this is a casual place, a beach restaurant. I'm in shorts and, slides or whatever.
It's the type you go up, you order, there's no
Right.
waitress, that kind of.
That type of
that
thing.
kind
So,
of stuff.
good seafood, whatever. So this old guy comes in, actually, he was older than the rest of the guys. He was really old.
Dang.
I had to guess like over 90.
All
He
right.
shows up in a suit,
Oh.
all dressed up. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, you look really good today. Why the suit? Never ask a 90-year-old man why he's wearing a suit. What is the only reason why a 90-year-old man would wear a suit? He just came back from a funeral.
Shoot.
So I was like, hey, you look really good today. Why the suit? Well, my old friend from high school passed away, and I was at his funeral.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a mistake I
Like,
made.
oh my.
Definitely.
Wow.
Oh,
Sorry.
hey, but listen, I'm glad you're here because I wanted to talk to you about this now. I was
Okay.
actually one of the things I was going to talk about today
All right.
is I saw on here they were talking about Guns N' Roses going on their tour this summer for a
Yeah.
concert. Now, I'm going to a concert with Ethan and
Yeah.
Brandon, so I'm going to see Guns N' Roses. But now you're going to a concert also a couple days after the concert I'm going to.
Damn.
Tell the people in here
What's
what
that?
concert you're going to
Oh,
see.
right.
Why?
So me and my
It's
mother
just
are
like
the
lavender. Yes, it
You're going
is.
to the
Old
concert.
Spice. It's
We will be going to Fall Out Boy, Green Day, and Weezer.
Now that should be a good show. So
I agree.
now I'm seeing now. I think Guns N' Roses they have Smashing Pumpkins opening up for their concert. So
that's pretty good.
that should be a good
Smashing
concert.
Pumpkins is good. I like
and I'm a
Smashing
big Guns N'
Pumpkins.
Roses fan, so I'm a big rock fan. AC/DC, Metallica, Guns
I
N'
like
Roses.
Guns N' Roses, but they're definitely not my favorite.
Now, for the people out there right now in the live, what are some of the bands you like? I mean,
Yeah,
whatever
let's hear
bands,
it.
if it's more modern stuff, if it's classic rock. I mean, for me,
Or solo artists.
I like a lot of the 70s, 80s, and 90s rock. I mean, Nirvana, Green Day. You're talking about Fall Out Boy and Weezer is going to be a good concert.
I actually really like Fall Out Boy. Some of the early 2000s rock actually is pretty good, but nobody really gives it a chance because it's not 80s rock, it's not 70s rock.
Hey, Flying Ant Ham, how old are you? I grew up in the 80s also. So you must be I saw Styx. But dude, I was disappointed.
Really
Yeah, dude, we were at Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. Beautiful lake in the mountain regions of New Hampshire. It's actually the biggest
Yeah.
lake in New England. Long name, Lake Winnipesaukee is the name of it.
Mhm.
And we saw Def Leppard in concert at the summer concert venue up there. And it was who was it? It was Def Leppard, it was Styx, and who was the opening band?
Tesla.
Tesla was the opening band.
Tesla wasn't bad either.
No, Tesla's a good band. But Styx came on. They did not play Babe I Love
No,
You,
it was so
and they didn't
sad.
play Mr. Roboto.
Like those are my two favorites. I was like so excited. I
Right.
thought maybe they'll pull it out at the end for like a last kind of encore kind of thing. Nope.
I was so disappointed. I couldn't believe they
They
didn't play.
said,
I mean, Babe I Love You is a classic
Yeah.
love
babe,
song.
I love
Back when I was in like high school or whatever, if that came on, you wanted to be with the girl you like.
Wasn't that your dance song for your middle school dance?
Oh, it might have been. It
I
may have
think that's
been.
what you said.
It might have been because I'm 53. So that would have been, it probably would have been middle school more so than
Yeah.
high school. So let's see. I see Baram U podcast is saying 80s Human League Madness, good. Depeche Mode, good band. 39. I remember 82, the late 80s pretty well. Oh, big fan of Steely Dan. It's funny. It took me a while to appreciate Steely Dan, but Steely Dan's really good. I'm also a fan of James Taylor. James Taylor's from Massachusetts. And you know what's funny? You've been to the Winner's Circle with me, and you've been to
Yes.
Michael's Harborside.
Yeah.
James Taylor grew up right there,
Very cool.
right in that area. So kind of a nice area.
Yeah,
So
it's like nice James Taylor when you're on like a nice like long car ride,
Right.
especially if you're like in the mountains, like you're in the White Mountains, and you just throw on a little James Taylor. Very nice. Like
Now,
kinda
well, if I'm going to be talking
calm
about
down
concerts,
music.
should I? Now, I've been to a lot of good concerts. Should I talk about my embarrassing concert also?
Embarrassing.
Because of a college girlfriend.
Oh boy.
Oh, I still regret going to this, but nothing's worse than my sister, Susan, my sister. You know, you could say that back in the day you went to New Kids on the Block, but she went like 5 times.
Yeah.
So once is a mistake, twice could be, all right, I kind of wanted to see him again, but 5 times, my sister was a New Kids on the Block groupie back in the day.
True.
And but for me, I've seen a lot of good concerts. I've seen AC/DC, Metallica. I've seen Aerosmith several times. I never got to see Led Zeppelin because they were kind of before me. However, I did when I was in college. I saw Plant and Page, which were the lead singer and the lead guitar player, and they added 2 members of the band. And after they played a few of their originals, then they went into all Zeppelin songs. It was pretty awesome. Saw ZZ Top. I've seen Sammy Hagar. A couple of years ago, I saw Van Halen with David Lee Roth, which was awesome. But back in college, man, I had this girlfriend, and she kind of liked dance music back in the day, and probably some of these bands won't even mean anything to any of you. But has anyone ever heard of Milli Vanilli? Oh, those 2 guys, all they did was dance, and it came out they were lip syncing all their songs. So I saw Milli Vanilli and Paula Abdul. She was the judge from American Idol.
But Paula Abdul actually is pretty good.
She was good, but still, you know, I was more of a rock guy, and I went to this thing. And the things you do for a girlfriend, you go to concerts like Milli Vanilli and things like that.
Well, I don't think I'd ever drag somebody to see Milli Vanilli.
Oh, they were. But you know what though? They were really popular back in the day before you knew they were lip syncing. But honestly, when you kind of watched them, you kind of knew they were lip syncing.
Obvious. But you know they're good dancers, so you just kind of give them a pass.
They do, exactly.
I'm sure a lot of people we know lip sync.
Yeah, they do. I think a lot of them do that. So
who cares? As long as it's entertaining.
So let me ask all you guys out there. So summer's around the corner. It's beautiful. It's warm. We're coming out of this pandemic that's been this this long, terrible thing that just never came to an end. What are you doing this summer?
I feel like through the pandemic, it's almost been sort of a time warp. Like things you remember being like a year ago, actually were like 3 years ago, and you're like, oh my God.
I think you're right. That's kind of what it's felt like. I mean, it feels like you're right. I mean,
Mom was like, we got the pool 5 years ago. I'm like, actually,
like 10 years ago,
like
8 years ago.
It's been like 8 to 10 years. And she's like, no. I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's true. I mean, when you look at it's 2021, almost 2022. Now, this is a cool fact. I got to tell you guys this story. You guys will like this. I think this is kind of cool. I was looking up what happened on the day I was born in 1968. So, yeah, I was born in 1968. I'm that old. Okay. January 2nd, 1968 was my birthday. So I looked up what happened on that day, and there was really nothing spectacular that happened on that day. But one of the cool little facts that I saw from that little article was in the year 2024, so that's only 3 years in the future, they're going to be I guess the calendar of that year, 2024, is going to be a carbon copy of the calendar from 1968.
That's so weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think that would happen.
I thought it would take longer.
Right, it's an absolute match. So the catalog from 1968, you could literally, if you had that catalog, you could pull it out of a box and put it up for the year 2024, and it would match perfectly. That's right? Cool. Isn't that crazy?
I'm sure Grampy.
Oh, I see Eric. Look at this. Oh, Iron Maiden. I see Victor saying Iron Maiden was very good. Good band. I see Eric talking about he would love to do Six Flags this year.
I love Six Flags.
My youngest son just went, Eric, because we have season passes. We get season passes to the Six Flags in Massachusetts. It's about, probably an hour and 10 minutes away from us. And my son went the other day. And the best thing about the Six Flags near where we live, the park itself is beautiful. A lot of good rides, but the water park is outstanding. Amazing. It's huge, right?
It's like as big as the park, if not bigger.
We've gone to like regular water parks, and this water park that's part of Six Flags is bigger. It's right. It's like bigger and better.
We went to Whales Tales in New Hampshire, and that water park's actually not that great.
No, it really isn't. It's expensive.
Small and it's expensive, but the water park at Six Flags is like twice the size of that water park.
Oh yeah, we ended up getting, I think our season passes work out to be maybe like $30 a person, $35 a person.
We get them at the discount sale.
Right, so we get this like a discount sale that goes off, and we get them then. So we get 6 passes, and we'll go probably 4 or 5 times during the course of the year.
I think we go more than that.
Yeah. Now, Eric, which Six Flags do you go to? Is there one near Atlanta, or where's the Six Flags in Georgia?
Six Flags New England.
Right. Let's see. I had this other page here up to. I wanted to kind of look at some of these. I found a page with like some weird news stories. What? Look at this guy. There was a guy in Switzerland. Oh, actually, no, an Idaho man. He was standing on a Swiss ball in Idaho, and the man made 522 juggling catches in 1 minute.
He what?
Right here, man marks 522 juggling catches in 1 minute. So it says an Idaho man with multiple Guinness World Records for speed juggling added another title to his name by making 522 catches in 1 minute while standing on a Swiss ball. That's one of those big squishy balls that you see people working out use.
Sit on one of those.
I can't even juggle like once off a ball. So this guy has to stand on the ball.
I can get like 2 balls going. And that's about my max. That sounded horrible the way I said that.
That's crazy. Now, how about this here? Oh, now this is a good. Now, why does this never happen to me? I see another story in North Carolina. I don't know if anybody saw this, but a woman won $2 million on a Powerball drawing, and she bought a ticket for the wrong drawing. So she literally went into the store like today to buy a Powerball ticket for today's Powerball drawing. She made a mistake and bought the ticket for the next one. So she went to the drawing, realized she had the wrong number. Then the next drawing, she won $2 million.
Oh my god!
I mean, talk about meant to be. Talk about luck. You know,
I want that.
Things like that never happen to me.
That's a good amount. Of money.
I know, that is crazy.
She's looking good for the future.
So how you doing with your work? Is your schoolwork going well today?
It's going pretty good. The cat is not helping me. He is like all over me. He's like, I want attention. I'm like, I'm trying to type.
Let's see. So I see Mr. A saying they have a Kings Island here. It's $100 for a pass.
$100?
Wow. But it has one of 7 giga coasters in the world. I don't know what a giga coaster is. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. Now, see, we are huge.
Is that the one with, like, the moving parts? Remember, we went to Universal and they had one where the parts
maybe.
And it like went a different way.
Well, see, now that place sounds like it's. Where's the place? I went to a place in Ohio called Cedar Point.
Yeah, Cedar Point.
And that was like in Sandusky, Ohio, I think. I went there one year when I was there for work.
Like one of the biggest coasters in the world.
They had like 10 roller coasters there. It was crazy.
Okay,
they were all insane, fast roller coasters.
Like
so, oh my God, he's saying, that's what Cedar Point had. A roller coaster that was over 300 feet. I think it was called like the Magnum or something like that.
Let's go.
No, but you know what's funny? I love roller coasters. And I remember I'm waiting in line for this roller coaster at Cedar Point.
I'd be terrified.
And I'm like literally in the front of the line. And I'm never scared of roller coasters. I'm like, whatever. I've been on a ton of them. I remember sitting in the front row looking up going, this might have been a mistake. I don't know if I want to do this.
I feel like I'd get in line for that and I'd be absolutely terrified, but then I'd get on it and have a good time.
Well, it was crazy. This was the only roller coaster I've been on. When we started going down the roller coaster, because I think it went up to like 90 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
I had tears running out of my eyes on my face just because I was going so fast.
I don't think I could wear my contacts on.
No, it was crazy.
My contacts would fly out of my eyes.
So Kings Island is in Cincinnati. All right. So that's not, that's kind of far from that's Sandusky, Ohio is kind of up near Cleveland. And Cincinnati's kind of like in the southwestern part of Ohio, if I remember correctly. So, I'm a big roller coaster guy. We all are. Our family, we love roller coasters. We love rides. A lot of our vacations are like to Universal or Disney or wherever, we're geeks like that. And you know what that made me think of, Kaitlyn, also? Maybe some of the people in here can help us. We've got some people in the live right now. I did a poll the other day on Twitter, and I don't get it. I am not a Star Wars fan.
I hate Star Wars.
And you're not either, right?
I don't like it.
I mean, how about people in here? Just a quick run of people who are in the live right now. Are you a Star Wars fan? Yes or no? I'd like to know if they're. I just don't like it. I've tried.
I'm not a Star Wars fan.
See, look
I am a Harry Potter fan.
Yes, no. So we get 2 yeses, 2 nos. But it's the weirdest thing. I mean, even as a kid, again, I'm old as fuck. I was old enough to go to the original Star Wars in the movie theater. So I remember going to that. I think I liked as a kid, I was like 8. I think I liked as a kid the first Star Wars in the movie theater because it was cool. It was new and there was all kinds of, talk about it. But the last Star Wars movie I went to, remember I think Mom went with the boys. I went by myself.
I didn't.
I went by myself figuring, you know what? I can't miss a Star Wars movie. I got to go. So I went by myself to the movie.
And you just didn't like it.
I left halfway through it.
Yeah.
I walked out. Now, on the flip side, I'm a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek. But the original series with Captain Kirk back in the 60s and 70s, I could watch all those. I love them. I guess I'm just a Trekkie and I'm not a Star Wars fan.
I'm not a fan of Star Trek either. I think I really just generally don't really like space shows.
Is that what? Yeah, you said that. Why don't you like space shows? Because I find those when I remember being a little kid. Now you have to think about it. Now if you put yourself back when I was a little kid, you're talking the 1970s. All right, there were no cell phones, there was no cable TV, there was no internet, there was no computers, there was nothing. The only thing you heard of is we went to the moon once, and Star Trek was this show back in the day that at that time The visuals were good.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
now you look at
visuals
it, it's
though.
crap.
Yeah,
But when you look at it
absolutely.
back then, it was like futuristic. And you'd watch the show and you'd get a chance to travel through space with this group and see different civilizations and different planets and different things. And I just found that to be extremely exciting and interesting
Maybe
as a kid. I don't know why.
Maybe if they remade it nowadays with modern technology, I might like it better.
Well, they did with a lot of the new shows, but see, I can't get past. I like it with the original stuff. I mean, there were some episodes that were really, really good, and maybe I should show you the couple really good ones that came out. But
I did like the one with the little things. The what were they
called? Oh,
called?
Doctor Who! I see that. I love Doctor Who.
I've never seen Doctor Who.
Yeah, that was on PBS.
I feel like I just don't really like space shows. I don't know. I don't know if the fact that it feels like kind of claustrophobic.
What was the one we were watching the other night? That was awful.
What?
Remember? We flipped on that movie. Brad Pitt was in it.
Oh my god, it was so
What the hell was
bad.
that? Ad Astra?
Yeah, Ad Astra.
What in the hell was going on?
Bad. Like he goes to get his father and then he just kills him.
It was awful. Like, it was this stupid movie. I started turning on like halfway through. Brad Pitt was in it. And apparently his father was an astronaut. And his father went to Neptune. I don't know why the hell he went to Neptune, but he went to Neptune and he never came back. So this haunted Brad Pitt his whole life. So Brad Pitt decided, I mean, if your father leaves in America, maybe he's in California, you go to California, you look for your father. In this movie, you go to Neptune to look for your father. So Brad Pitt goes to Neptune, or orbiting around Neptune, literally finds his father, and he's having a conversation with his father. And then for some reason, they go on a spacewalk. I don't know why they went on a spacewalk. And then they got separated from the ship, and Brad Pitt had to release his father out into space. So this poor bastard went to Neptune to escape his family, and his family finds him on Neptune, and then they kill him. You go all the way to Neptune to find your father, and inside of 20 minutes, you kill him?
Really?
So then Brad Pitt at that point is like, all right, it's time to go back to Earth. And that was like the end of the movie. It was so stupid.
But I feel like I really like space. Like, I like all the planets and stuff. I just don't really like the show set in there. I'm not a huge action fan. I feel like that could be why. I don't like shows that don't have any like plot or substance, like a goal that we're moving towards. I just don't like it. I feel like I'm a fan of plot. I just like plot.
The gray area, when you talked about the imagery was good, story was trash.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Ad Astra or whatever it was, or is that something else?
The plot and stuff of it, I think.
What was the other one I liked? I liked the space movie with, of course, Jessica Chastain. She can do no wrong in my eyes. Her, Scarlett Johansson, and Emily Blunt.
Okay,
if I was going to be a man with like 3 wives, those would be my 3 wives.
All right.
And Mom would say, "See you later." She'd be fine with it. That's like she'd be like, "Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out of the house, John. Bye." She'd let me go.
Do I get the house? Like...
Well, if I marry one of them, though, I'll get a bigger house.
Yeah.
So I mean, they all have big houses.
Mom will be happily in the king size bed by herself.
But should we talk about Mom and Brandon today? I feel kind of bad for them.
Yeah, they're sad.
I don't know what happened today. We've all survived COVID. We're all outside. We're all vaccinated. We survived COVID, and today, Brandon, my youngest, and my wife got the throw up bug. So that's why we're doing our show out on the front porch right now. We're trying to avoid them like the plague, but they've got the vomit bug today. Interstellar, I never saw that. So yeah, we've got them upstairs, and they're kind of vomiting.
Brady, who decided to go play with a skunk last night.
Oh yes, we have 2 dogs, as all of you know. We have Molly and Brady. Brady last night, our stupid black lab, ran out into the woods last night and got into it with a skunk again for literally, 10 times. Is that too many?
No.
He's gotten skunked like 10 times, and he always does it. He never does it at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No. It's like 11 o'clock at night. He has
to go do it at night when we don't want to wash him.
Yeah, we did give him the tomato. We gave him the bath last night. We got to give him a second one today.
Actually, we do like hydrogen peroxide. You let that sit for like 10 minutes, and then it's pretty good.
Yeah. We named him after Tom Brady. We did. But
well, we were actually gonna name dog that we got, Molly. We're gonna name her Gronk, but then we were like, but her name's Molly, and it's
I know.
cute.
Yeah, I saw the comment up above about Apollo 13. I did like that movie. I thought that movie was excellent. That was the one with Tom Hanks. Remember, he went to the moon, and they had trouble with the spaceship, and they couldn't land.
Garden or whatever.
What's that? No, that was Matt Damon. What was that movie with Matt Damon? When Matt Damon went to Mars.
I loved that movie.
That was good. He was what was it called? Not a horticulturist. He did the flowers. Botanist. He was a botanist. And he went to Mars and had to grow all the stuff for oxygen on the planet and his food. I really that was good. I did like that. The Martian. Yeah, that was good. I did like that one.
That was a really good movie.
I like that. Well, there was another one too that I did like. There's a few of them that I did like. Apollo 13 was good. The Martian was good. The one with Jessica Chastain, Mission to Mars. I did like that one also. I thought that was pretty good. But again, that could have been because of Jessica Chastain's absolute hotness. That could be always it. But sorry, don't you love hearing that from your father?
No, I don't.
You don't? Hey, I'm still a guy. I can appreciate a pretty girl. Come on now.
Well, I mean, I just don't get it.
I wish we had video. I really did. If we were on like Twitch or something right now, you'd see me sitting next to Kaitlyn with her chicken in her hand. Yeah. Can the chicken talk to us? Can you make her talk?
Might.
You gonna say anything?
Not yet.
Oh, ow!
Okay.
She just flapped me with her wings.
Flap, flap, scratch, scratch. That was what
she hit me.
She said, "I don't like you.
Jesus.
I want to be with my mom."
The chicken just attacked me.
She likes me better.
Oh, the gray area. The potatoes taste like shit. That's right. Remember, because he had Matt Damon was growing everything in shit. He had used all the shit. The potatoes taste like shit. That was funny.
He's gonna jump on you, I think.
Oh man. Hey, so Eric, do you want to call in a little bit? I figured I'd let you call in. And anybody else want to call in for a few minutes? Jennifer Lopez. Oh, for me, Jessica Chastain, hands down. I'm not a huge J-Lo fan. I don't know why. She is attractive, but for me, Jessica Chastain, Scarlett Johansson, Emily Blunt, those are the girls I like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think I have to worry about Jennifer Lopez knocking on my door anytime soon. But if she did, I probably wouldn't say no. So don't get me wrong on that. She is beautiful, but just not, I don't know, not my thing. I don't know what it is about her. So Eric, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good today. Yourself?
Hey, Eric, did I put on all the buttons? Eric?
Are you muted?
I get all the buttons on and I can't hear you. Can anybody else hear Eric? Anybody? You can hear him. Yeah, my volume's turned up, dude. I got the volume on. The buttons are all on. Everything should be good. I just can't hear you.
I don't know if you still hear me or not.
Weird. I don't know why, man. Yeah, everybody else can hear him but me. You look at, I got everything up. All the buttons are turned on.
Are your headphones plugged in, John?
Headphones are plugged in. All right, and here we go. Boomer time. Let me play my Jeopardy music as the boomer tries to figure out what the hell's going on. Here we go. Little boomer music for John. Let's see. Let me try to do it again. I'll turn everything off. Back on. Can the boomer figure it out? Dun, 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 dun. Probably not. All right.
So, do you not have your
I
soundboard
cannot
with
hear
you?
you. I don't know what the problem is. I have everything plugged in, and everyone can hear you, and I cannot. So I'm not sure why. So I apologize, man. Maybe you can pop out and try to come back in again. Yeah, it's weird. I can't hear anything. I cannot hear him at all. And I've got everything turned on right. Everything's plugged in right. Boomer 101. Let's try you again, man. If not, then I guess I'll just have to talk with Kaitlyn. I'll get Brandon out here who's sick.
Let me see if you can
Eric,
hear me now.
let's try again. Totally weird. I can't hear anything you're saying. I don't know why. I've got everything on. Let me turn every other button on. I get literally every button on my thing is on.
Now Nugget has things.
Oh well, Eric, I'm sorry, buddy. I can't hear you for whatever reason.
You still can't hear me?
The issue is. But anyway, Eric, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about really quickly, and I hope I have a copy. Where's my phone? Did you guys see the email that came out? And this is the one political thing I'll talk about today. Did you guys see the email that came out from Fauci, our good buddy Lord Fauci? I don't know if anybody saw that, but there was an email that was released, something that he wrote. Check audio volume on soundboard. They are up, dude. I get everything up, man. Everything is up. Everything is on. I don't know what the problem is. You know what? I wonder, is it connected to my phone? Maybe is that a problem? Hold on, everyone, as I work these things out. I know this is exciting radio for everybody.
Damn Bluetooth.
Let me shut off the Bluetooth on my phone, see if that makes a difference. Are you there? Are you there? Hey, you know what, Eric? You know what you could do?
Damn Bluetooth.
I could reattach the Bluetooth on my phone, and once you call in, you have my number, right? Let me see if I can attach it again. Okay, I'm connected to my board through my phone. Call my cell phone, and I'll patch you in that way if you want to call in, and then we can hear you.
You still can't hear me?
After this, we're gonna have to go give Brady round 2 a bath. Oh, chicken jumped.
And the chicken. Now, did you hear that noise? The chicken literally just jumped on the soundboard, so that's what that was, and hit like 3 buttons at once.
Said hello.
Oh my God! So let me read this email really quickly while we try to work out these issues.
Okay, I need to go
see where we get Eric. Are you leaving? All right. All right. So this is an email. You guys got to hear this. Now, I know we've been talking about Dr. Fauci being the savior over the last year and doing everything he could to make sure that none of us got sick from the coronavirus and all that good stuff. But now this is an email that he sent. A woman by the name of Sylvia Burwell sent him an email back on February 5th, right before the pandemic. And Sylvia sent this email to Dr. Fauci. So it said, Sylvia, and this is his response back to her. Sylvia, masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected rather than protecting uninfected people from acquiring infection. The typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus, which is small enough to pass through the material. I mean, that's what we've all been using for the most part. So it might, however, provide some slight benefit to keep out gross droplets if someone coughs or sneezes on you. I do not recommend that you wear a mask, particularly since you are going to have a very low risk location. Your instincts are correct. Money is better spent on medical countermeasures such as diagnoses and vaccines. So, that's one of the things that we've heard over and over again about Dr. Fauci and about this whole mask mandate we've had for the last year is a lot of people have felt that the masks were not helpful. And I felt that way. I mean, we were forced into all these rules, and now we've got not just, we had an interview with Dr. Fauci. I think I still got this on my soundboard. Let me see if I can find this. This was an interview that Dr. Fauci gave back at the beginning of the coronavirus. Let me see if this is the right button. Let me hit this real quick. No, wrong one. Let me try this one. Oh, here we go. No. It's here somewhere. Hold on. I don't have it labeled.
Around with masks. You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this. Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fighting.
And there you go. Now, Eric, try to speak again. I just tried one other thing. See if this worked.
I don't know if you can hear me this time around. You still can't hear me?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I made one.
I think I'm wondering if you and Kaitlyn doing the show on the front porch was a big mistake today, or you keep tampering with the volume settings?
No, I do a lot. I do a lot of them on the front porch, and all the volume settings were right. I actually unplugged the wire and plugged it back in, and now I can hear you. So good. I'm glad I finally got you, because I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit today. So I'm sorry we had a little technical difficulty. But just to summarize that, I mean, there was an email, and then there was also an interview that Fauci gave that the masks don't help. And I'm not sure why we had to wear those for a year and why our children are still being forced to wear them in schools. Hopefully at some point that will end. But anyway, buddy, now that I got you, how are things going? How you been doing? And what are your plans for this upcoming weekend? You going any place?
Don't really have anything planned for this weekend. Things seem to be going really good, as usual. I have a friend that's got a birthday today. Hopefully I can convince him to come on the Slightly show tonight to, for him to join us and shoot shit, of course.
Nice. How old's your friend turning?
This is a gentleman that's 60 years old. I've known him for a couple years now. He doesn't live too far from me, but he's currently on a Florida trip.
Oh, well, it's kind of a big birthday, turning 60, man. That's a big one. So how's he feeling about turning 60? Have you talked to him about that?
I haven't talked to him today, but I talked to him a little bit yesterday. But he's kind of like a conservative leaning guy, but I think Slightly would probably, along with you, would probably be up his alley.
Nice. Well, I saw your comments. We were talking about some fun stuff today also, because, occasionally I like to do non-political stuff and just talk about some of the fun things that we do in life. But now you were talking about Six Flags. So what are some of your favorite rides at Six Flags?
My Six Flags park here.
Call in. Go ahead.
My Six Flags park here in Georgia, I mean, I've always liked the Mindbender ride. I haven't had the opportunity yet to ride their new Pandemonium and Twisted Cyclone rides. I've ridden their Justice League ride, and their Skyscraper is pretty good. And then I know last year they got like a Scrambler ride themed to Poison Ivy, and a new flat ride themed to Catwoman that's similar to the spinning Enterprise rides that lift off the ground and kind of resemble a Ferris wheel when they lift up.
Nice.
And I think I'll have one at y'all Six Flags Park themed to Supergirl.
We do. We have Supergirl, and I'll tell you, the one I really want to try at the Six Flag in New England that we have, I almost got on it last year, and then everybody wanted to leave, but the Harley Quinn ride, and that's right near my favorite ride at the Six Flags in New England is the Joker. I love the Joker ride. There's also a Superman ride that's like a 250-foot drop, but the Joker is not as big of a drop, but it's in these little cars that also spin around in circles while you're going around the coaster. I love that ride. It's my absolute favorite.
I think Six Flags is really getting a lot of those clone coasters, but I think the clonable coaster I could see our Six Flags Park getting next would either be one of those Raptor track coasters or that Axis concept coaster.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, for me, there's nothing better than an amusement park. I don't know if we have a lot of amusement park fans in here. A few people said that they go to certain amusement parks. But, some of the things I like also is we have, I wish this park would get more notice, I guess. But some of the old school parks that are still around. There's one in southern New Hampshire that I grew up right near. It's called Canopy Lake Park. And it's a great amusement park. They do an amazing job. They've added some nice new rides, but they've got a lot of the old school rides also. And then in there, they've done a really nice job expanding into the fall with Halloween, different themed days. And they have like weekends where you go through haunted houses and you get creatures, roaming around the park and things like that. And for me, there's nothing more summer than going to the beach, going to an amusement park, doing one of those summer things. And those are things we've all missed over the last year because we've had COVID and we haven't been able to do a lot of these things. So I think everyone's just itching to get out and do these things right now and get back to living their life. Now, what are some of the things you've been doing since they've eased the COVID restrictions now? Are you wearing a mask? Are you going out to places?
I don't wear the mask as much as I used to, but I haven't been needing to wear it going into certain grocery stores. But if I do, it would probably be out of respect or something.
Now, I see Bar Ram, your podcast. I have an all new respect for you. That's awesome. So I have a phobia of roller coasters. My wife, being from California, took me to Disneyland. I held her purse. Now, for any man out there, and again, I will admit I'm kind of like a manly guy. I'm a man's man type of guy. Alpha male, whatever you want to call me. The last thing I want to do is hold my wife's purse. She asks me to do it sometimes. And even though I know every person there knows that I'm holding my wife's purse, I hate holding her purse. Wally World. Now, what park is Wally World actually? Now, is that like the Six Flags? Because obviously
the Magic Mountain.
Is that what I've been to Magic Mountain? So I've been to Wally World. Oh my God. I've been to Magic Mountain in California. I didn't know that. So that's
I know y'all Six Flags Park has got 2 boomerang rides, but I think that one called Goliath, used to be the deja vu of Six Flags Magic Mountain. But for some reason that boomerang model just seems to have a lot of issues. But I had one at my Six Flags Park and I'd only rode it like 3 times, but the lines would just be super long and they're always having to get mechanics to come out and correct any issues. It would almost seem like that they don't know how to handle it or something.
That happened to my kids last summer. They were in the line for the Superman roller coaster. That's the biggest roller coaster at Six Flags New England. And they literally were in line for like 45 minutes. They got to the front and then there was a mechanical issue. So they literally told them it was going to be probably another 40-minute wait. At that point, they got out of the line. They were so mad. But the one nice thing we have at the Six Flags out here is you can go to the water park, which is huge. The water park is bigger than the amusement park itself. And there has to be, I don't even know, like 30 different water slides. There's like 3 or 4 different pools. And it's awesome. So what my wife and I do is we'll go to Six Flags and we let the kids run around like maniacs, and they have like sandy areas with beach chairs. So we just chill out, in our bathing suits and sit by the pool and chill out and let them run around and do their different things. Now, my wife almost killed me though. Was it last year or 2 years ago? We went to Universal Studios and we were at one of the water parks. And I'm a guy, I love roller coasters, but I do not love big water slides. I'm just afraid of them. So we went on one. We walked up these stairs and my son had told me that the water slide was really not scary. It was like a big tube. You go on it with a few different people. It's not scary. It's fun, whatever. So we get up the stairs and on the left, there's like this big long line. And then on the right, there was another water slide with no line. So I'm like, okay, why is there nobody in that line? It must be the same water slide. Let's just go in that one. Now, my wife already knew that it wasn't the same water slide, but she didn't tell me it wasn't the same water slide. So we go up, get in the short line. We get all the way to the top. I'm there with my daughter, who also doesn't like scary water slides. And my wife thought this was funny. So she brings us up and we get on the water slide. And it turned out to be one of those big funnels where you go into this giant funnel and then you drop through this hole and you drop like 6 feet down into like another area. Literally, the whole tube turned sideways. I almost fell off it. I literally hurt my back that day, being the old man that I am. And my back was sore for like 3 months. I remember getting off that thing going, why didn't you tell me? That was that type of water slide. I was terrified, and she was laughing. She thought it was funny. So I've told her point blank, I am never going on a water slide again. I don't trust her. I don't believe that she'll tell me it's scary. And that was literally the last water slide I will ever go on in my life. I'm done. Now, are you a water park guy, Eric, or do you not like water slides?
I'm not super big into going to like water parks. I mean, I tend to stay with like the amusement parks that have like the thrill rides. But our Six Flags park, I like to ride the Log Jamboree ride and the Thunder River ride and the Monster Mansion boat ride.
Nice. When I see some people talking about getting sick on rides, that was something that never happened to me at all when I was young. I mean, I used to go to amusement parks all the time when I was a kid, even into my 20s, went to a lot of amusement parks. But now, being the old guy that I am, even if I go on too many roller coasters, all of a sudden I get motion sickness. If I go on like a really fast carousel ride, not even really a carousel ride, but I like the Scrambler. That's one ride I really like. But if I go on something that's completely circular and fast, I'm done for the day. I get like literally sick, like I feel like I have the stomach bug, and it lasts for a good portion of the day. So I have to kind of manage my rides now and choose the ones that I really like and make sure I hit the ones I enjoy as opposed to just going on a bunch of rides and then not being able to do anything for the rest of the day. But I'll say we had something happen. This was really scary a few years ago. As I told you, we're a big amusement park family. We were in Florida and we went to Busch Gardens, which is kind of a really cool park if you've never been there. It's south of Tampa. So we went to Busch Gardens, and one of the rides, my father-in-law went on a roller coaster. And it's one of those ones where, it fastens over your shoulders because you go upside down and stuff like that. Now, my father-in-law is a big man. He's a big guy. And he got this thing on, and apparently the shoulder harness clicked shut on the last notch. So he got on, he was secure, ready to go. During the ride, the shoulder harness came loose, believe it or not. And he was literally holding on for his life on this ride. I didn't go on the ride because I just didn't want to go on it. So I am sitting outside just waiting for them to get off. And he comes down, his face as white as a ghost. He's there with with my wife, who's his daughter, and whoever else we were with, and was telling the story. He was on, I think, with my daughter, and literally he had to hold on for dear life because the shoulder harness came loose on this loop roller coaster. I think, fortunately, it came loose after he went through the loop. Thank God, because if he hadn't, we could be telling a different story right now. But man, that's just scary, scary stuff. We don't think things like that would happen to you, But what are the things you like to do in the summer, Eric? Are you a big beach guy? I love going to the beach.
Haven't been to the beach in years.
Really? You're not a beach guy? What is it about the beach? Is it just too far away?
I know it's just something I've not done in years. I think travel expenses and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably not helping either right now.
Because I know I don't do a lot of out of state traveling. The last time I did out of state travel was 2 years ago to attend like a family wedding out in Vegas.
Now, do you have no beach? I'm trying to think of what Georgia is. I know where it is on a map, but do you have any ocean front in Georgia or none?
You have like Savannah and Tybee Island, and then you have Brunswick, St. Simons, and Jekyll Island.
Nice. Tron Cat, El Gato, welcome to the show, boys. How we doing? Good to see you. Good to see you both. So yeah, I'm lucky where I've always lived close to the ocean, and I live probably, an hour and 20 minutes from the ocean right now, which is the furthest I've ever lived from the ocean in my life. But now, one thing that surprised me, I see El Gato coming in. That made me think of California. One of the things that surprised me about California is the water in the Pacific Ocean is cold. I always figured, because in the East Coast here, especially where I live up in the Northeast, if you get down to like Cape Cod in Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard, that area, the water's pretty warm in the ocean. I mean, it's a decent temperature where you can enjoy swimming. When you go to the beach in New Hampshire or Maine, and this is not far from the truth. Like this upcoming Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be in the 90s here. If we go to the beach in New Hampshire on Monday or Tuesday, if you try to swim in the ocean, you literally would go numb from the waist down by the time you get to like your chest. Like you come out of the water and your legs are like red because the water is still most likely in the 40s or 50s. I mean, it's brutally cold. The only time the ocean in New Hampshire, Maine really get warm enough to swim in is probably by like the middle of August. That's about it. If you go in June or July, forget it. It's like an iceberg trying to swim there. Super, super cold. So let's see. Just received the supper charge for the F40 on the right. That sounds great. So now how far is the ocean from you, Eric?
I'd probably say it's about 4 to 5 hours away, depending on which way I go and depending on the traffic.
That's kind of crazy. I was talking earlier about my son, Matt, and his graduation. He's graduating from high school next week. We're very fortunate to have my father-in-law staying with us right now. So my father-in-law came up from Florida. He lives in North Fort Myers and used to live in New Hampshire, but, retired like a lot of the Northeasterners do and head down to the warmer climates for a better life at some point. But he's here staying with us right now. And it's really nice to have him here. He came up for his grandson's graduation. He's going to be staying with us, I think, until next Friday. So we've got him for about a week. And we're lucky we have the room, but it's good to have him here. And he was the guy I was just talking about that went on that ride that he literally almost fell out of. So see Mr. A. Oh, you're going to Florida tomorrow, man. Where are you going? Where are you going? That sounds good, man. I love Florida. Florida is like literally my favorite place on the earth. I don't know how I ended up living where I do. I'm totally a warm weather guy. I think I could easily deal with the summers in Florida. I hate the winters in New England. I mean, I've tried to snowmobile. I've tried to ski. I've tried to do all the winter activities. And the bottom line for me is I just don't like being in the cold. So no matter what I do, it's just not enjoyable for me. So you're going to Panama City Beach. Now, where is that located in Florida? I'm not sure where that is. I could look at my phone. Let me get my phone out and take a look. Now, Eric, have you spent much time in Florida? I mean, you're in Georgia. You're relatively close.
I haven't been to Florida since about 1994.
Oh, you're in the Panhandle. Okay, so it's up in the Panhandle area. So let's see, Deborah. I was born in Florida. You've never seen snow. Well, let me educate you. Okay, on snow. You would come to New England and you would see a snowstorm, and it never looks like it does in the movies. In the movies, you're watching like a Christmas movie, and the snow's dropping down so peacefully, and everyone's smiling, and they're on a horse, and buggy ride or whatever through the snow, and it's all romantic. That's all bullshit. All right. The truth of it is you end up in a snowstorm, and up here in New England, we get the nor'easters. We get the storms, basically the hurricanes in the winter that travel up the coast. And because New England sticks out into the ocean, we get pounded when we get into a weather cycle of one nor'easter after another. So we generally have these snowstorms with like 60, 70 mile an hour winds. The wind chill could be minus 10 degrees below zero. Over the course of like 3 days, we'll get like 2 feet of snow. We're buried up to like our nipples, usually by February, in snow. The first snow of the year is always nice, but then unfortunately in New England, we have like 3 more months of snow after that. So if we could have like snow for like a week or two before Christmas and then turn the heat back on and get it warm again, I'd be happy. But yeah, you're not missing much. Honestly, I've seen more snow than any person needs to see in his lifetime. and I'm good. I'm fine at this point. I've been kind of hoping that global warming would kind of get worse maybe going forward. So at some point, maybe Massachusetts would turn into like Florida and we'd have like 80-degree temperatures all year round. But I think by the time that happens, I'm going to be dead. So for me, I burn fossil fuels as much as I can. I throw plastic in the ocean every chance I get. I use plastic straws. I'm doing everything I can to increase global warming up in the Northeast, but it's just not working at this point. So I guess I got to hold out hope for some major change. Miss Torch, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
AKA Cubella Kate.
Yeah, right. How are you? Good to see you again. I had her on at one point, and it was, let's see, I'm happy with seeing beautiful pictures of the snow. I used to go when I was a child to New Hampshire. Oh, no way. I grew up in New Hampshire. That's my home state. I know the Conway Mountains and North Conway very, very well. I spend a lot of time up in that area. Now, let me see if you remember this. Now, you went there when you were a kid. If you went to Conway and you went to North Conway, as a little kid, you may have gone to Santa's Village. Did you go there by any chance? For those of you that don't know, Santa's Village is like a little kid's amusement park, and it's themed. The whole park is themed for Christmas, and they play Christmas songs all year round. There's the Santa Claus coaster, and there's all these different things. So if you were in North Conway or Conway, New Hampshire, I bet there's a chance that you ended up going to Santa's Village as a little kid. Now, one of the other things about North Conway, you were talking about, you were up in that area. For the boxing fans out there, there was a very good boxer from the state of Massachusetts called Marvelous Marvin Hagler. He was a great boxer back in the 80s, a middleweight champion, and kind of a legend from this area. It was funny. He sadly just passed a couple of months ago, I think due to COVID, but he was living in North Conway, New Hampshire. He was from Brockton, Massachusetts, which is a well-known boxing city here in Massachusetts. But he moved up to North Conway, and he used to go almost every day to this little local pub called the Scarecrow Pub, a cute little place that has like craft beers and microbrew beers. And my father, after my mother passed away, he would go up to North Conway because his girlfriend from high school lived in North Conway. So he went up to North Conway. He would see her, and they would go out to the Scarecrow Pub quite a bit. And there, sitting at the bar, is Marvelous Marvin Hagler, hanging out. And my father said he was a really nice guy. So I used to joke all the time. I said, now that I know he's there, because I collect sports memorabilia, would it be inappropriate if I walked into the bar one day with a set of boxing gloves in my hands and just say, oh my God, I just happen to have these with me, and I ran into Marvin Hagler. Could you sign these for me? You think he'd buy it if I actually did that? I mean, you never want to intrude on somebody when they're eating lunch or whatever. But, there's a Santa's Village in Colorado. No way. I didn't know that. As far as I know, the one that we have in New Hampshire is kind of like an independently run amusement park. I'll have to look that up then. So Santa's Village in Woodland Park, Colorado. Yeah, the place we have in New Hampshire is basically for smaller kids. They opened up a water park, and it's really a cool place. And I'd love taking my kids there when they were little. And we used to buy every year. You'd get a picture taken on the Sky Ride. It was like in a sleigh for Santa Claus, and we would get like a little snow globe every year of our entire family, taking their picture in that little sleigh ride. So we've literally got now like 16 or 17 snow globes that we've collected with pictures of our kids when they were younger, from that particular park. And it was just awesome. So, all right, everybody, be ready. We got some trouble on the hand right now, man. We get El Gato in the show. So when he comes.
It's homeboy clause.
Hey, don't talk about my wife that way. Ho ho ho. I mean, I
No. Remember homeboy clause at Christmas time, anyways.
I do.
What's up, man? We have a Santa's Village over here, but it's shitty. All it is you drive around and look at the lights. What kind of shit is that?
You know what? It was funny. I've thought about like Christmas in warm climates because up here used to being cold and snowy. When I was in Florida in early January, I think it was a couple of years ago, and I was walking around. Where the hell was it? I can't remember what town I was in, but it was pretty cool looking at Christmas lights, walking around in shorts, as opposed to freezing your ass off, watching and stuff.
Yeah, see, everybody that's in warm weather, we're like, oh my God, wouldn't it be wonderful? White Christmas and everything, you know what I'm saying? Or the snow and all that shit. But like, I don't know. Shoveling your fucking car out of the snow.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Scraping the windshield so that you can see, warming it up.
That's rookie shit. All right, let me tell you the real suck for winter. Okay, now I live in the highest elevation in Massachusetts.
I don't know why you gotta fucking put salt on the fucking sidewalks. What are you gonna fucking put margarita on there and drink it up?
Now, this is something you don't think about. About 8 years ago, we got literally 10 feet of snow during the month, like the last week of January and February. So not only did we have to shovel and snow blow and salt, we had to get this long rake. The rake is probably 30 feet long with a big attachment on the end of it. And you have to literally rake all the snow off the roof of your house so your roof does not collapse. So there are things called roof rakes. And you literally, now I was outside standing up to snow, like up to my nipples, and I'm 6'4". So I'm standing in snow up to my nipples trying to rake, I don't even know, 500,000 pounds of snow off the roof of my house. So the roof of your house doesn't collapse in on you when you're sleeping. So that's one of the things, like raking your roof off. The ice, that you get. I mean, the ice dams on the corner of your roofs that actually leak into your house. I mean, winter sucks, dude. Yes.
I've lived almost 46 years on this planet. I never thought of that you had to scrape the roof off of your ice off of your roof, but it makes sense. Holy crap, that does suck.
You know what happened? There's a thing that happens. It's called an ice dam. When you have snow on your roof and the snow melts, the snow goes towards the corner of your roof. But then if it gets cold out, the water freezes. So you end up getting these huge chunks of ice on the edge of your roof, and that's right where the gutter is in the seam into the house. So if you don't get the ice off, it literally ruins your roof and ruins your house. So they have these little pellets that you throw up on the edge of your roof, and it actually melts the ice. Otherwise, you're up there with a hammer, the backside of a hammer, chopping the ice off your roof. It's awful.
They never show that. They never show that in the movies. Somebody on the ice and shit. They always showing them scraping the ice off the windshield or salting the sidewalks, like in Home Alone. That
my God, exactly. You're watching like the Hallmark movies. You know, they're skating with no jacket on. Oh, that's
what's up with that?
No, winter sucks. Let me be the first to tell you, it sucks.
Doing snow angels. Get out of here.
Torch, I know you can. Chicago has nasty ass winters also. Now, Torch, did I ever tell you my Chicago story about winter? This was kind of funny. If you guys are, I'm kind of going on forever, but this is kind of a funny story.
I heard it goes right through you too because it's windy.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, when you have the wind chill of like minus 20 degrees out, it is miserable. Like your face literally stings. It's so cold. It's awful. It's awful. There's nothing redeeming about winter. Winter sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, you know what? Jack Frost, go fuck yourself. How about that?
Jack Frost can go fuck himself. I agree completely. That's why I don't know why I still live here. I fucking hate it. I get depressed all winter. But all right, here's my story. This is what a jackass I look like. I was like, I think 27 years old. I was in New England, in Boston. I had an interview for a company that was based in Chicago. So I flew out to Chicago. It was like a 75-day spring day here in New England. So I'm dumb, I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. It's springtime. Yeah, the weather's beautiful. I hop on an airplane and I fly out to Chicago. Of course, I didn't check the weather. I get to Chicago. It's 30 degrees and it's snowing. And it's literally like almost a blizzard. So I get there. It's freezing, wind chill, the wind's blowing. I show up at the company, and I had to meet with the president of the company. It was on Elston Avenue in Chicago, old company called Nystrom that I don't think exists anymore. So I go in, and the president was a great guy, big guy. I remember I take 2 steps into the company. He looks at me, he goes, Jesus Christ, didn't you wear a coat? Because I just have my suit on. It's like freezing. It's snowing. I'm covered in snow, my whole body. And I look at the guy, I'm just like, no. Because at that point, I'm like, I think I'm an absolute moron. And I wasn't smart enough to hear.
I used to deliver a package to this guy, and it would be like 45 degrees, and I'd be fucking bundled up. Listen, I'm a California native, so that's cold to me. This guy would walk around in fucking shorts and a tank top and laugh at me. Oh, I'm from Minnesota. Hey, you know what? Okay, whatever. But when you fucking get pneumonia, don't come crying to me. Bro.
I do the same thing here. Literally last winter, if you drove by my house, it would be 28 degrees out. I'd go up to get the mail. I'd shovel my driveway, whatever, in shorts. I wear shorts. I hardly ever wear pants. If I'm not working where I have to wear pants, I'm in shorts all the time. So for me, 15 degrees
dolphin
out,
shorts.
Shorts. I
the
wear shorts.
Fucking 80s dolphin shorts right there. And let me guess. The fucking 80s cutoff shirt too. When you play football, remember that bullshit?
Oh, I remember those.
The mesh.
I'm an old
cutoff jersey.
I was just going to say that. The mesh ones. I remember those. That was the next thing I was going to say. Those stupid.
Yeah, you look real manly in that.
I get a picture of me somewhere. I was at a party someplace, and for some reason, I thought it was a smart idea to go to the party and wear one of those mesh half shirts to the party. I go back and look at that picture now. I look like such a friggin' Guido loser in that picture. I'm like, what were you thinking wearing that out to a party? But now, speaking of trash and fashion trends, I see Miami Vice clothes. I remember those. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
When you start a show, you got to put that as your shows like your pick.
That would be a good picture. No, dude, I gotta ask you this, Gato. I see short shorts are coming back in. So those Larry Bird ball sack shorts are coming back in.
Hell no.
I've seen a lot of the teen boys, like 18, 19, 20, 21, wearing the short shorts where they're coming up up to the top of the thighs again.
Well, you introduced me as controversial, so I got to say this. Speaking of Larry Bird, how did those Celtics, bro?
Oh, dude, you know what? Dude. All right, I'm sorry, but now who do you like again? Was it the Lakers?
Oh no, they're almost down, huh? They're almost done too.
Yeah.
Come on, Lakers, come back.
Well, let me. It was funny. I've got one of my son's friends was here yesterday, and he's a big LeBron James fan. So I like to stick it to him. He's 15 years old. So he comes in the house. I walk up to him like, James. I'm like, how you doing, buddy? He's like, hey, Mr. DeVito. I was like, so am I hearing right? My son told me you think LeBron James is the best player to ever play the game. He's like, absolutely. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
No,
have you ever heard of Michael Jordan? LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. I'm like, dude, no. Let me just correct you now. No. And then course, I had to stick it to him. I wanted to see how far I could go before I could completely piss him off.
I'm not even from Chicago, and I won't say that shit. No way.
Listen, my friend, we live in Whiteville, out where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And my son, we do. It's Whiteyville out here. My son's friend is African American, great kid. His name is James.
Yeah.
So he was here yesterday. So I had to trigger him a little bit. I'm like, first of all, I said Michael Jordan was better. I said Kobe Bryant was better. I rolled off a few different players. I said if you go back to even the 80s, Magic Johnson was better. And then I threw out the cardinal sin. I said, and Larry Bird was better. He looks at me at that point. He's like, whoa, stop there. What? I saw them both play.
Hey, John, I'm going to tell you something. Larry Bird was a beast.
He was good.
He was a beast, man. He was great.
Well, the one thing about Larry Bird,
he's a legend.
Well, the one thing about Larry Bird could have scored 45 points a game, but he didn't. He passed. It was a different type of game back then where it wasn't shoot a three every 2 seconds and then slam dunk. It was teamwork. With that team, you'd have 7 guys that scored over 10 points on that team. It was a different era of basketball. No, Larry Bird was definitely
No. Larry Bird, when I was growing up and you'd go through to the 3-point line, you didn't say Steph Curry. He didn't exist yet. You said fucking Larry Pájaro, which is bird in Spanish. You know,
I'll tell you, for all the youngins in here, I was lucky. My father went in with some work friends, and we had partial season tickets for the Celtics back in the day. Yeah. So I was, believe it or not, I was at the NBA Finals on the floor watching Magic Johnson and Larry Bird go at it back in the day. And I mean, the Lakers were a better team. I mean, the Lakers were amazing. Magic Johnson was incredible to watch. 6'9" point guard, run the court like he did. I saw Jabbar play in person, James Worthy. I mean, they were a great team. But to watch those old Celtics-Lakers rivalries, for me, I think that might have spoiled basketball for me because it's never been the same for me. I can't even watch the NBA anymore. It's just three-pointer.
Oh, yeah. I don't
it's boring to me. I just don't like it. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
And it made it wimpy because you can't even check somebody without them,
I saw the old man from the Old Man's podcast recorded a video on TikTok the other day. And I don't know if you remember this guy. You probably don't. But you remember Bill Laimbeer of the Detroit Pistons?
Yeah, of course.
He brought up LeBron James. He goes, we'll see how LeBron James does if he plays against Bill Laimbeer, and Bill Laimbeer fouls him and knocks him into the 6th row. That's how it was back then. It was like a contact sport like hockey.
Man. Remember the Knicks with Charles Oakley and all them? God, man. That was brutal. Well, Michael Jordan. Was it Michael Jordan that went up against the Knicks and they just beat him up that one year?
Yeah, they did. Michael Jordan, he was a phenom. He was crazy. He was so good. But Mr. T, I agree. I'm not a communist fan. I'm not an NBA fan, absolutely. And I don't like all the bullshit that's been going out. And I do get the point. Like, with LeBron and all the stuff that's been going on. I mean, I get the intent. I mean, the message behind what everyone's trying to send is a good message. But it's unfortunately backing the wrong organization. So for me, I'm tired of all the bullshit. No,
two things before I leave.
Yeah, go ahead, bud. What do you got?
And I gotta, me, I gotta be controversial.
Go for it. Go, bring it.
Number one, let's go back to the snow and all that shit. Hey, isn't it funny on I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas? No mention of snow anywhere in the lyrics.
Hold on, I'm dreaming. Oh, geez, you're right. Canceled. Get rid of that song. Did they not mention snow at all in that? Not even once?
He didn't say snow. He didn't say snow ever.
Crosby, you racist bastard. You could be right. I never even thought of that.
Okay, number two. No, I'm just playing, but that's funny, huh? Number two, what do you think of the All-Star game being moved from Atlanta to Colorado? Did you already touch on this?
Yeah, I really haven't. I may have a couple of months ago. I think it's bullshit. I mean, what they did was they just screwed a lot of business owners in Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta. Atlanta has a healthy African American population. All those businesses they're going to be hurt are the businesses of people that are busting their ass to make money in their businesses, and you take the All-Star game away from them. I mean, to me, I don't know what they were thinking. So they take the game and they move it. I've been to Denver also. They move it to one of the whitest cities in the country. So
do you think they had with the voter suppression laws there? Do you think that was something, or do you think that's not?
You know what? I mean, for me, I guess from the way I feel about voter suppression, I don't agree.
I don't think it's a voter suppression law at all.
Well, let me get this out.
I think it's a voter integrity law.
Well, let me get this out. For me, voter oppression. I see no problem with people having to show an ID to vote. And the reason why I say that, I mean, name one thing in life you can do without voting. You need a license to drive a car, to own a gun, to have a pet. You need to have a license to buy beer, to buy cigarettes, to buy weed in places where it's legal. I mean, you need an ID for everything. And I thought some of the comments that were made were extremely racist when politicians felt that African Americans and people of color didn't have the ability to get an ID. I mean, what do you think? I mean, these are intelligent people that are able to go out and get an ID. So for me, I don't see them as oppressive laws. But I could be skewed. I'm a white guy that lives in suburbia.
Well, let me ask you this.
Maybe I don't see it all. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Don't you think that's a power play? Hey, why not do the mail-in ballots?
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about mail-in ballots, though? Do you think that they can cheat with those?
Man, if they're going to cheat every which way, Jon DiVito. You know this.
Well, it's true.
It's been going around since the beginning of voting. But I think mail-in ballots, whether you like it or you don't, is just an easy way to do it, and the whole family gets to vote.
I disagree.
Family.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think there's ways around it. Like if you look at currency, I mean, people copy money; they try to pass off money. But if you look at currency under a microscope, which I've done before because I work for a science company, I mean, you could see all the watermarks and all the different security features that are built into currency. So why not? If you're going to have mail-in votes, I mean, you could have 100 different, watermarks and different things on these votes. It would make it almost.
Here's something that Slightly Serious brought up on his show. If rioters can go out and riot in person, they can go vote in person.
Oh, stop, Eric! You know why you don't want mail-in ballots, because it benefits the Democrats, not the Republicans.
Oh, come on, homeboy!
Come on, Eric. That's why you don't want mail-in ballots. Be honest.
Hey, Gato, I can ask you a quick question.
I don't think you want me to go fetch Ronald Reagan.
Uh-oh.
The trouble with our liberal friends is not that they are ignorant. It is just that they know so much that isn't so.
Ooh.
And Ronald Reagan was a genius.
Ooh. This is. Hey, wait! I gotta go.
And Victor and Blind Ham and a couple other people in the chat are saying they disagree with the mail-in ballots too, because all the mail-in ballots has done is caused more harm than good.
Why do you think you're so against it, bro? Be honest.
I think you should be required to go vote in person and show an ID.
All right, I'll drop it, but I think there's a reason the Republican Party pushes no mail-in ballots. That's just my opinion.
Oh, excuse me. I'm vomiting. Pardon me. I'm sorry. Hey, I get to ask you a quick question. Quick question, homeboy. I mean this with all honesty. Yeah. If you could, now I know that you voted for Biden. That's cool. I love you regardless. It doesn't matter to me. If you could, give me 3 positive things Joe Biden's done since he's become president.
I would have fucking voted for Torch if he was up there against Donald Trump. But anyways, for sure.
Give me 3 things. 3 things Biden's done well so far for the American people.
The vaccines, even though you don't agree with that,
was Trump.
A lot of people are getting vaccinated.
That was Trump. Oops, excuse me.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Go ahead.
Mobile, the mobile, everything, the mobile units going around and around. Anyways, number 2, no more chaos in the morning. Donald Trump would tweet something fucking stupid in the morning and the whole day revolved around that shit. He don't do that shit. That's number 2.
So you said a return to normal. We had a guy on the other day from California, a Democrat, who said the same thing. It was the return to normal was the one thing that he thought was, I guess.
And number 3, I think the economy's getting better, Jon DiVito.
Okay. No, I just want to hear your opinion. I mean, I'm not here to shoot you down. I just want to hear what you thought and what your feelings were on them.
Trust me, because these motherfuckers are ordering like crazy, and I'm delivering some shit.
Dude, you have job security like a motherfucker with Amazon out there. But now, let me ask you this, though. I see all around my area, Amazon has their own trucks now. Is that going to be a problem for you?
What'd you say?
Amazon has all their own delivery trucks around here now, where I live. Do they have that out west?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I see them everywhere.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is, and it's not going to happen, but they've been talking about it for years, those stupid little robots that'll walk down the street.
Yeah, I've seen those.
You have?
No, you know what they have? They have in this area. They have, like, who the fuck is it? One of the pizza companies is using the little drive around robots that deliver pizza.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, to me, that pisses me off. That costs people jobs. I mean, why not have someone drive their car, deliver pizza? You know, they're making money. You create this little robot that's more people without jobs now. You know, I don't like it.
That's bad.
We in a couple of the supermarkets here, we even have the robots in the supermarkets now. I think it's Stop and Shop maybe has like these big, tall, 6 foot tall robots that go up and down the aisles and they clean up messes and do stuff like that now.
Okay, I'm gonna leave everybody with this stuff. Okay, think about this. If everything becomes automated, right?
Yep.
Robots delivering pizzas, fucking Chinese food, fucking packages, whatever the fuck.
Dominoes.
Everything becomes automated here, there, everywhere. You go to McDonald's, instead of a guy fucking up your order, it's a robot fucking up your order. Listen, if everybody's poor, who's going to buy your products?
True.
Who's going to buy? Rich people, listen to me. How in the fuck are we going to have any money to buy your products if we have no money to spend because you took away our jobs? You idiots. Think about that.
I see people mentioning fuck robots. Now,
whatever happened to personal responsibility is another question.
Fuck short circuit.
Hold on now. I'm stuck on fuck robots.
Robot.
No, a different way. I thought it meant fuck robots, like robots that fuck. Now, for me, if I could design my fuck robot, can I make it look like Scarlett Johansson? If I could get like a duplicate of Scarlett Johansson, robot. Now,
I don't think that's what they meant, Jon DiVito, but I know you had to go there.
Well, if that robot comes to my house and I have sex with it, is that cheating? If I fuck a robot? I'm just curious. What do you guys think? Is that cheating? I have to ask my wife that question.
I think when they said fuck robots, they're just saying like, I don't like robots. But you went a whole different direction.
Well, I like to think of it my way. Fuck robots. So.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But dude, at my age, I'm old and fat and tall. That's the only thing I can get to fuck now is a robot. You know?
Hey!
All right, brother. Good to see you as always. Take care.
Right, I gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right. Hey, Eric, you want to wrap up this bad boy? We are at an hour and a half, and I figure I'll wrap this up. Probably boring the shit out of you. But it's been a good show.
Well, I think
I'm going to be back on tomorrow. So I'm going to be on at 11:30 again tomorrow. I just got to schedule it. So go ahead, bud.
Right. Well, I think Dark Bear is on right now. If anybody's interested in jumping over to see him, and I guess if Jeremy decides to do an impromptu Cummings' Culture show, definitely be on the lookout for him and make sure you're following him. And the Slightly Serious show will be on live tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Also be on the lookout for The Gray Area and Ralph and Freedom Word to do their shows, as well as Torch and Mike Tampa Bay and a few other friends, and then the old man tomorrow morning, right before your show tomorrow morning.
Yesterday he had 35 people in his live, and I saw him
yesterday.
He had 30 again today. Incredible, man. He's doing so well, and I'm happy for him. It's a great show. I'm happy for all you guys. And hey, Bill Clinton. The one thing that screwed Bill Clinton, he wanted Hillary to become president, because if Hillary was president, Bill could have managed the interns. That would have been a dream come true. No presidential responsibilities whatsoever, but you managed all the beautiful young women coming into the White House. Man, that would have been perfect for him. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, and Flying Him had a good comment about, because I'd mentioned that, that Kennedy was probably the only best Democrat president in U.S. history, but the day he was assassinated, the Democrat Party died that same day.
He was a real moderate. He was a good president.
Well, I guess he proved to be too moderate for both like political parties, establishments, and he probably would not even recognize today's Democrat Party, much like Reagan would probably not even recognize today's Republican Party.
I think you're right. So, all right, well, listen, everybody.
And then Flying Him said that he had like a neighbor who said he didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left him, and Governor Zell Miller, God rest his soul, was the same way.
I like Torch's comment.
But we're about to start heading on out of here.
Yeah, Torch's comment right there was pretty good. JFK was going to drain the swamp. That's why he was assassinated. It's true. I think
it's a surprise that Trump didn't get assassinated.
Well, one of the things I think we all have to realize is the swamp is a lot deeper and a lot more encompassing than any of us realize. The swamp is there. The swamp controls everything, and I don't think any one person is going to drain that swamp. So, I think now
the mafia got rid of him, and Oswald was just the patsy.
Yep. Well, Lord Fauci, told us now that we were good little soldiers, and the swamp's back in power, and now we can take our masks off and get back to life and give us back our little freedoms they took away. So that's the swamp controlling us. And hey, I guess you can choose to look the other way or fight the fight, but either way, we're in the swamp, and There were a lot bigger monsters than most of us, unfortunately, in that swamp. So, hey, everybody, I love you all. Have a great show. I'll be back on tomorrow.
Mill Dog's also on too, along with Dark Bear, but we'll see you guys later.
Take care, everybody. Love you now. Take care, Eric. Thank you.